Mercy skin looks dope. Battle Pass is gonna be dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so broke.
They look good. I'm sending you the link now. Let me know when you can see it now. Go ahead and mute my mic on Discord after.
Kuna Support VOD.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 of the remix. Alright, I love it.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic now. Just let me know if you have any questions like normal. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do 2 maps. They are Eichenwald and Ilios. This one I believe was the loss, and Ilios was a win. So yeah, we got a good bit of stuff here. I'm gonna focus more so on the Ana gameplay than the Mercy gameplay in this VOD. Mostly because, like, I think I've mentioned before, like, I don't play a lot of Mercy. I know how she's supposed to be played and everything, but I don't personally play her. So I'll just talk more so about, like, positioning and stuff with the Mercy. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into this. So, team kind of gets folded here a little bit, unfortunately. Not you know, ideal, and I don't think it was, like, necessarily yours or anyone's fault. But anyway, so... on the rotation to this other side, they TP obviously. I think ideally you want to be further back here to start with. I'm gonna go to third person here for this. So ideally, if you're going to be playing with your team here at this like main area where you can see your Ryan and stuff, you want to be probably like back here, right? So your sight line's maybe not as good, but like you get a little more cover, right? So like if they're shooting at you, they can't really see you from their side, like if they're back here. Sorry, I turned on my mic real quick. I heard myself. So yeah, you'll like not be able to get seen as easily. Like they'd have to take a really tight angle in order to see you. But like you have the ability then to duck into cover if you need to, and you have the mini back here if you need it as well. And it gives you the option to rotate early, right? So like if you rotate back to point here, your team wants to be one of 2 areas. Your team wants to be like, on this left side by the mini, which, is a little bit less ideal, or this back right side by this mini, which is more ideal, and, having access to the high ground. So, like, it's hard to account for this with the TP, right? Like, that's definitely not on you. But I think your team would be in a little bit more ideal position if you're, like, back here and can quickly, like, take this angle and toss a nade onto one of them real quick before, Devo were to realize where you are. That'd probably be a little more beneficial for your team. But, again, TP makes it hard to account for all this. And ideally, you want to be able to take this high ground, or at the very least play back right in this area somewhere near the mini. Big nade onto the sim. Unfortunate. Team didn't follow up on it. Don't hesitate, like... It's tough to know like when you should or should not go for like damage, right? Like your team's kind of getting folded here, but like it's not necessarily your fault that they're getting folded. They're just like positioned poorly. Like you get that sim antied, probably try to finish her. I feel like there's a good chance you're able to finish her there. I think you not healing Ryan or Damien for a second here like isn't going to make a difference in them living or not. Like if you kill that sim, you might change the fight. So yeah, don't be afraid to do that little bit of damage extra. This is just rough. Good nade. So then once the point's lost, you want to reposition like the high ground here. Like immediately. Ace needs to not go in, obviously, but I think there's 2 places you could probably go. As Ana, I really like playing on the the top right. Up by that mini up here. Here is pretty ideal to play because you have access to going this way across this high ground. But like you have the mini. You have the ability to drop off quickly behind yourself if you need to. This is a good place to play. Or and I think this is an underrated one that's not as good, but like can work. Maybe not against their comp that they're running because they have the sim TP, but like playing in here is pretty nice too. You just have to make sure, you know, you're very aware of like where they are, and you have the you know, right mindset to, you know, quickly rotate away. But yeah, this high ground or this low ground here isn't going to be ideal for you. So I think briefly, like from what I watched on throughout this whole thing, is you're scoped in a little much. I'm only mentioning this because I don't have like anything else specific to talk about right now or in between fights. But I think like you get scoped in a little bit. Like right here, you're doing a pretty good, decent job of not scoping in too much. But you just want to make sure like you're not fully scoped in always. Good try on the nade there. And you get a little like focused on doing that. I do the same thing sometimes too. Here's the big thing I want to talk about for this fight. Okay, so nano, right? Like obviously like nanoing Ryan into tree isn't going to be fantastic. But your team's in a position right now where like they can kind of sustain here without dying, assuming no one feeds. I'm pretty sure someone feeds, but they should be able to sustain a little bit here without dying for a little bit, even with the tree, because you know the cart isn't through the gate yet. You know, Sim is here to your right, but like she's not really a threat just yet. Junk doesn't have an angle on anyone besides your Ryan. So what you're going to be looking for here with nano is toss that bitch onto your Ryan, or you know, if you have a DPS who's worth, you know, nanoing. So Sojourn can be that sometimes, probably not against the tree though. Toss that onto the Ryan shortly after that tree comes down, so that way, you know, they're going to be hardcore focusing onto him because he's in tree. And ideally, you know, like you keep him alive through this, you guys can then do damage to everyone else as the fight's going on, and you guys should at that point have an advantage then going into the fight right after the tree kind of dies. You know, he's gonna have shatter, you know, you're gonna have Sojourn ult coming up, so it should be a good situation for you. Good sleep. Unfortunately, she got woken right away. So right around here is when I think you want to probably toss that nano onto Ryan. And part of what would make that such a good nano too is one, first off, he's going to do extra damage with that shatter. He's maybe able to finish people with the shatter too. But two, if you nano him here just before this, just like, you know, a second and a half, 2 seconds before this, as you know, like he came back to that TP and then he's walking back forward, that's maybe when you want to nano him. The secondary benefit outside of him maybe killing some backline people is you don't have to look at him anymore. Barring like unbelievable coordination from them, which I don't even think is possible with their diva like up here, you don't have to look at him. You keep your backline alive here. Moira might not die, and you guys just win the fight because you guys are now fighting a 4v1 you guys D-Mech diva. At worst case scenario, you know, she bombs and she has to use that 3-mech. And in that entire time, because Diva's here fighting you guys, Ryan should not die. Like, there is almost no chance Ryan dies. The only way he dies, again, is if, like, crazy coordination, they hit a nade, they hit a sleep, you know, like Junk does crazy amount of spam damage without knocking him completely away. But, like, even then, I don't think he dies with a nano at full health. So, I think don't hold on to nano here. But in this scenario now, you know, your Moira died. Obviously, like, in hindsight, we can see, like, why. But, like, you give him nano there, you, again, might be able to keep Moira alive. Even if you don't, like, Ryan doesn't die as fast as he did, and he got the kill onto Sim. That's probably going to be a win fight for you guys. Here, yell for your team to leave. Damien's feeding. Damien needs some guidance sometimes. He needs yelled at. Don't be afraid, like, as a support player, like I know not all support players are vocal, but I'm quite a vocal support player, just like player in general. I talk a lot when I'm playing. If you see your teammates are like in a bad position, like you have 2 people dead, you know, like their diva can boost her into him, yell at him to leave, yell at her to leave. You guys should, like, they're still way too close here. And it's incredible they don't die. Their diva 100% sure chase there. I sleep again. D.Va just isn't eating the the sleeps very much. Okay. So right there, the nade probably a little bit early. Like, it's going to be hard for you to survive this against a D.Va regardless, but you kind of push yourself a little too far forward again because, you know, partially, like, you know, Damien just died. That's a problem. And your team's out of position, so you're trying to, like, account for them being out of position. I'll point this out, like, a couple other times too, because I noticed this throughout both maps. Very often, and this is with so many support players, I did this myself for the longest time until I realized, I still do it sometimes, honestly, actually. I realized, though, it's not the right thing. Don't ever chase your team to help them. If they're in a bad position, you being in a bad position also doesn't make their position better, right? Like, you want to play like far back, you want to be able to like throw nades, you want to be able to do damage, heal from a distance, right? And if you're in range of a D.Va or a Winston or, you know, a ball that can quickly get onto you, like they don't have to feed to get onto you, then you then become out of position too. And again, I get why you're doing it. You've lost Damien, you're trying to help your Ryan who's pushed in here, but he's feeding. He's a lost cause. If he doesn't back up, he's gone. With that said, I think you probably naded it a little bit early on yourself there. You were like 150-ish health when you threw a nade. I'm pretty sure. I went back and looked at it yesterday. I know it's tough with a D.Va, like she could eat it and whatever, but like do your best when you're getting dove by another tank, you know, to save your cooldowns on Ana, like as long as you can, to, you know, sustain for as long as you can, so that way, like in this scenario, there's nothing you do because your team fed. There wasn't any coordination whatsoever, but like if you're playing Ana, you're usually playing it with like a dive or something, and ideally, you know, you want to save those cooldowns to be able to sustain for yourself, or, you know, make like an aggressive offensive play, so that way your team has time to come back and help you. Again, that fight wasn't your fault that you lost it, but always just remember, like, don't feed for your team. And similarly, like, just holding on to nano is not going to be ideal, you know. You just want to, like, kind of nano almost every fight you have it. Like, that one right there, right? Like, the timing of the nano is fine, right? But they're, like, at a point where the fight is no longer winnable. You know, your Ryan's trapped. Your Hanzo, I almost said Reaper. Your Hanzo had a touch point. He's dead. Damien's not the last person on point. It's not going to be a winnable fight necessarily here, even with like Ryan not dying. Even if he gets a point with Shrew already dead, with Damien likely to die, this fight probably is unwinnable. Similar thing here, like I mentioned last fight. Don't feed. Sorry, prof's messaging me. Don't feed to help your Ryan. If he's feeding, that's on him. Especially like on most supports, you don't want to feed to help your Ryan, but like especially like on a Kiriko, like don't feed to help them. I know like the TP's big. I know like, you know, like you could very quickly TP to save like a tank sometimes, but like more times than not, you're gonna TP into death. It has to be like a really calculated TP for it to be worth it. Big shatter. Nice cleanse. That was a really good cleanse. This is tough because your Ryan's playing on both sides of the wall. See, this is a good TP, right? Because like you're TPing away from danger and you're TPing back just into Ryan D.Va. Like that's a good time to like TP to help your Ryan. Your team, like you could, I guess, say like you kind of like left your team out to dry, but like your team was so far in there that like it was just problematic anyway. And then more so that your Ryan left them out to dry, not so much you. Yeah, this is just leaving. Similar with Tracer, like I just mentioned with the tanks, like unless you absolutely have to, try not to TP to Tracer, because she's going to be in dangerous freaking positions most of the time. It's just not going to be ideal for you. message Prof real quick. But yeah, overall solid stuff. Just don't you know, avoid like positioning based around your team. Tell them what to do as a support, and like if they don't listen to you, it's on them. Like I mentioned with the Mercy stuff,
If you ever need help, just fly to me and
I'm not gonna like go in depth about like mechanics and everything. I'm just gonna talk more about like the positioning. Side note with last round, I know this is a comp game and like people are on off rolls and stuff. I wouldn't play Kiriko with Ryan. It's not very good together, because like Ryan benefits from like doing like, you know, a bunch of burst damage, which means he's gonna be taking a bunch of damage at the same time, and Kiriko doesn't heal a lot all at once. Like it's kind of slower. And like the you know, the Suzu's great, like keeping him alive or keeping anyone alive, like that's fantastic, but he's not like benefited very much from her. This is unfortunate. Very unfortunate, but luckily Shrew did not die. So the one thing I want to mention with this is like, so they don't have a hit scan, right? So like you guys can be aggressive, right? Like your Pharah should be trying to be pretty aggressive, and it's good on Mercy. Like when I've played with Mercies in the past, when I'm on Pharah or Echo, like it's good like to like, you know, ping things that you see, because like you're like the best version of their eyes, right? Like you can see like what like the best things for them, just pinging that stuff, telling them, you know, like who's out of position. Like you see like Torb's used like his overload, like he'd run out of position, like go for him, like that sort of stuff. But even though they, you know, they don't have a hit scan, the one thing you should be worried about with like any comp, and I'm scared more of this on Pharah than any other like hit scan or anything, is an Ana. If I'm the Ana on the other team, I'm killing your Pharah or you every fight, because like you guys are quite out in the open a lot. Like right here, like I know their Ana's not like, you know, good enough to, like, she's just kind of standing there below you, like not doing anything, like she's not going to be useful. But like in most scenarios, like if an Ana is positioned correctly, like she should be able to kill you right here. And they have the Diva too, like you should be dying right there. So just be careful with, you know, like going really far into the open to help people. Like here's pretty fine, right? Like, because you know you're far good above like whatever else, but like when you flew up above that tower, like if you guys are not all committed as a team, make sure like you're behind that tower, like not in a line of sight of that Ana, because she will, if she's good, she should be able to kill you like every fight. I don't mind that you're helping your team here, because kind of getting rolled over here. It's a good res. That was close. I really like this Valk. I even wrote in my notes like this is a very good Valk. Like I know you guys had used, you know, Ramalt and like that's big and stuff, but like that combined, like you Valk there was really useful. I loved that. That was a really good Valk. I think, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I think both of your Valks that I saw, the first two, were phenomenal. Yeah, it was a really good Valk. You were able to help sustain the you know, Ramatra and everything through his ult, while, you know, they had the tree, which kept them up, and, you know, the Torball, which was also big. That was a really good ult. This is much better positioning. I know, like, at the very beginning when you flew up here, you were a little bit open in the bridge area, but, like, you quickly got down. Like, that's a good place to be. This is true. That was rough from Shrew, but, yeah, you did the right thing there. You were playing that position well. Similar thing here. Yeah, don't chase your, you know, your tank. Like, if he's gonna die, he's gonna die. That's not on you to protect him. He walked up into a bastion, you know, with pockets. That's on your tank. Yeah, I don't think their Ana's even very good, and she's hitting you guys a decent bit. She's killed your Pharah twice now. That's bad on true position there. Again, you know, yell at him to knock up near the diva. Bait her boosters, then kind of go in. On Kiriko especially, like it definitely could be done with Ana more, but like especially on Kiriko, don't be afraid to like do some good damage, because like it's always gonna be comp dependent, right? Like depending on what you have, like you might be the person who needs to heal the most as Kiriko, right? Like if you're playing like, you know, Winston with Kiriko, Lucio, Sojourn Reaper, like you're obviously the one that be doing healing. Same thing, like if like Junker Queen's really good with Kiriko as well, like you're the one that's gonna be doing a lot of healing. But even then, like try to add in some more damage. Like I noticed it's not like a super frequent amount of damage from you, and I think that's just like a thing. Maybe like Kiriko's shots are hard to hit, like they really are. So it could be like a confidence thing. I'm not sure, but yeah, like Kiriko can do a ton of damage. So if you're with like a BAP, which is pretty common, you know, like an Ana, which is semi-common, like right now, like it could be really, really good for you to do some extra damage. Ace fed. Nothing to do about that. Good try on this Sombra. It's just tough. Your team's just dying because the fight's kind of over. This is good positioning too. I really like this. Like, it's gonna be hard for them to do anything to you, and then you have that cover too to your left and right. Be careful. Like here in this comp, like I don't think Kiriko's ideal. She's not very good with Moira. She's fine with Ramatra. I think that's fine if you're playing with her with that. But be careful playing her into things like Diva and, you know, Sombra. Like she's really good into Ana because, you know, the cleanse, and Ana's very killable if your Kiriko's like Ana's aren't moving a whole lot often. You can get those headshots on her. But like a lot of their other stuff is like quite good into you, like Sombra, you know, she's gonna bait your cleanse quite a bit, and like that's not great for you. You know, Diva can eat your cleanse and your healing, like, so that's also not great. So just be careful playing those or into those. She is very good in Donna. Good DMAC. So I like that you're doing more damage there, right? Like that was good, but be careful, like just walking straight at them. You do it from a little bit further away, if that makes sense. This is a good TP. I know I'd mentioned before not to TP into danger, but that Diva was gonna definitely gonna kill you if you didn't TP. So good TP and cleanse, but definitely be ready to TP again. You killed yourself, but like it was a good TP if you like played a little more careful out of the TP.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic on the stream. I'll ask if you have any questions real quick in Discord.
Ready for battle.
Kids can surprise you.
Then I better not be disappointed.
Kids also disappoint you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So, on this map, let me pull up my notes real quick. So, before we even jump into this map, the big thing I want to mention is Ilios Ruins. The entire team, but especially on support, don't play on point. I know that sounds like a little bit silly, kind of like, because, you know, you need to contest point and all this stuff, but if there's no reason to be on point, don't ever be on Ilios Ruins point, because it's just a bowl of death. Like, there are high grounds all around it, and if you're on it, you will get shot from any and all of those high grounds and not survive. If, you know, the other team goes on to point first, and you guys, you know, keep that high ground positioning, you better do damage before you start to go onto the point. And from there, you know, like, you have one person contest, you have your tank, or, you know, like your tracer, like this round, contest, and like kind of go from there. You don't really want the supports ever on the point. Like, if I'm even on Lucio, like Lucio is like considered like a contest support in a sense, and Moira's kind of a contest support in a sense. Even if I'm Moira or Lucio, like, I'm not touching point, like, ever, unless I'm in complete stall mode. Like, I will not get on point. It's so unnecessary. Or, you know, like, if the team has won a fight completely and, you know, you're capping. There's only 2 times I'll ever touch Ilios Ruins point. It's such just a bowl of death. It's so bad. So yeah, definitely don't run onto point like this. This was the team's fault mostly, but like, you definitely don't want to be here either. It is not good for you. Ideally, I don't want to say that without just like not giving you anything on top of it, actually. Ideally, you know, like, playing up here is probably best, because you got like a little bit of cover, you have the pillars to dance around to, you have the mega if you need it. You know, you can fall back if you need it as well, like you have back here to cover behind. But from here, you know, like, you got pretty good coverage. You can see the whole of point here, like, you can see your tank on point, you can see, you know, your DPS if they're standing back behind you. If your DPS are pushing forward, you know, you have the ability to help them over here as well. But yeah, definitely don't just stand on point here. Makes it a little too dangerous for you. It'll force cooldowns, so you have to use cleanse TP, and then at this point, like, the fight's just lost. Even if you keep ace up here, like, they're just gonna roll you guys. Good D-Mac on a Diva, though. Good cleanse to save yourself. Good TP out. That was good, too. There's this, what's it called? Like I mentioned, you know, like, about doing damage last map. I imagine, like it's a mixture of things. It's not just like you're not confident in your aim. It's not like, you know, like, not just like you not knowing when is best to do damage. Like, it's probably a mixture of a bunch of things, and everyone deals with it, including myself. Like, when I'm playing with the Junker Queen rush, I don't always know when I need to be doing damage and helping my Junker Queen. Like, it's hard, and I'm trying to find the balance for it myself, because I'm a support who really likes to do a lot of damage as much as I can, because I think it offers a lot to the team when a support can do damage. But I have this aim trainer. I'll find the code for you. I don't remember exactly, but it's basically like you're in this box and you just shoot at all of the different characters using their movement abilities besides tanks. Like, any squishy, it just like kind of spawns in, and they have, like, you know, movement abilities like Genji dashes and deflects, you know, Pharah flies, Mercy, you know, Guardian Angels to stuff, Tracer blinks around, Ana, you know, jumps back and forth strafing. So it's a good little thing. I can give it to you if you'd like. Just let me know after. But yeah, the aim, like, it's not just aim, but that's something that could help. Like, I gave it to Flames, and it's helped him a little bit. So, like I mentioned before, you know, Kiriko's not great with Moira. She can be played with, you know, like, you can play her with anything, technically. That was a really good TP and cleanse. Unfortunate the following outcome here, but that was a good cleanse and TP to try and save your tank. Kiriko can be played with anything, obviously, but like ideally, you know, you want to be playing her with like Lucio, you want to be playing her with Bap or Ana. Like those are probably the best. But if you're playing with one of the other like flex supports, and what I mean by that is like Ana, Bap, Moira, like those are flex supports. Zen's also a flex support, but he doesn't do any healing. If you're playing them with one of those three, a really big thing, and this kind of works with like the doing damage part, but also like just helping your flank DPS or like helping other DPS in general, is like taking off angles. So if your D.Va and Moira are playing like right side over here, like a really good thing for you to do as Kiriko is to play on the left side and take that off angle and try and force D.Va to you, or try and force them to push you and use cooldowns to push you out, because then that way, like, one, if they don't look at you, you do crazy damage. You can help your flank DPS with healing. You can do healing to D.Va across the map a little bit too. But two, like if they do push you, they use cooldowns to get you out, you have a very easy escape. So that's something to really think about. Like if I'm playing Kiriko with like, what's it called? If I'm playing Kiriko with like any of those flex supports, and especially if I'm in like a lower lobby, like I'll just flank and try and be a demon the whole time. Like I will try to completely play away from my team, and just do damage, because like you just get kills like real easy on Kiriko. You just flank killing Ana. You know, worst case scenario, she sleeps you, like you can still get out more than likely.
I take care of my friends. Clear me out. I dare you. I draw the hand.
Kiriko rush, or Kitsune rush, try to engage with it. So like this is really good. I know there was another time, I think later on, where you held it a little bit. Unfortunately your Moira ult's with you, but like that's not your fault. Again, point not ideal for you. I get why you TP'd and cleansed there, save your D.Va, and you helped yourself, but not ideal, obviously. Yeah, just always try to engage with Kitsune rush when you get the chance. I think you can avoid D.Va Bomb there if you just walk forward and into the right. I don't think you need to use cleanse there. That was probably not necessary. If you would have just walked forward like this way, you probably would have just avoided D.Va Bomb that way. You would have had it for this. Better would have saved Moira and yourself from it. So yeah, mostly just avoid being on that point. Like that's just a you know, an Ilios Ruins thing mostly. Like there's a lot more points that, you know, it's fine to be on as a support, but that one specifically is a scary one.
Guess not.
But yeah, don't chase teammates around either, like I mentioned. Miscommunication from the team, unfortunately, but that's okay. Big pick. D.Va 1 also. I don't think you need to cleanse there at all, but I don't mind it. Good shot on the Mercy here. That was nice. Similar thing, like, still had the Moira, like, you could really take an off angle here. Like, I would just climb up above you right now. Play up here, make, like, D.Va use booster to get you off, make, you know, them walk high ground to get you off, make Reaper use TP to get you off. Play up on this high ground, like, one, you know, like, they're either going to use a cooldown to get you off and you can TP away, which, you know, your TP comes back faster than most of their abilities. And if you're, like, playing defensively, right, like, your team has point control, like, that's ideal for you. You know, your cooldown disappearing for them to, you know, just try and take some high ground away is better for you guys, because, like, you guys have the point. You don't need to use your cooldowns to win a fight. You need to use your cooldowns to stay alive. So yeah, playing up here, and if they don't push you, you know, a similar thing as to before, that you just free reign damage. Big shatter. Nice. Could help with the damage onto those two. And Mercy staggers herself. Nice. This was interesting. This wasn't a good play, but it wasn't a bad play. I don't know whose call this was, but it was something. I've never seen it done, but like it actually could work if you guys were more coordinated and had a Lucio. Like this could have worked. I like the attempt. It's something unique. That's what I like about that. Team feeds. I like the attempt to challenge the Pharah here, help out the team a little bit. I mean, if she's not hitting you, like obviously it's gonna be hard to kill the Pharah as Kiriko, but like if she's not hitting you, or barely hitting you, like I don't mind you doing that. That's completely fine. Similar thing here. I would have definitely Kitsune rushed before like they got to the point. I know like you got killed by the Pharah and stuff, but like I think you might have been able to get that off and like, you know, potentially like done something with it. It's fine that you didn't though, obviously your team won the fight. But yeah, be aggressive with it. So it's a really good ult to be aggressive with. This was the Mercy map I think you played on actually.
More field research.
Excuse me. Unfortunate. One thing I will mention, like Mercy wise, this isn't position or anything. Like again, I don't want to critique your Mercy too much, like because I don't have the Mercy skills or anything. But one thing like definitely that could be done is like keep an eye on like the surroundings, right? Like I know like you guys might not have even known this at this point, but like with the Sombra, like keep an eye on like the background and stuff, like see if she's flanking, like just keep an eye on that. And like same with like Tracer and all that stuff, like even Soldier could like hard flank, like just keep an eye, like you know, if your soldier is sitting here main like this, like you can keep your beam attached and just like occasionally look backwards sometimes, look over here sometimes, just to make sure, you know, like you don't see, you know, anyone flanking, like whether it be a Tracer or whether it be a soldier or whether it be Sombra. But yeah, don't worry, or don't mind, I can't speak. If you do that, it's not a bad thing. I thought you did quite a good job of staying alive on this map. And I thought that you were with your tank a little bit much. We can talk about that, but like your soldier died a lot, so like it's completely understandable. You could also help with like the one-shot hooks, you know, in that scenario too, which isn't bad. I thought right here specifically, I'm pretty sure this was the area you did like a really freaking good job of like balancing staying alive and like helping your soldier in this room and stuff. I thought this was really good. Cutting a lot of the damage, but still like, you know, keeping an eye on your backline to make sure everyone's good and then going back to soldier. That was really nice. I would definitely avoid like going up in the air like this too much, especially against soldier Alari, because like the potential risk of like them being able to aim. That could be bad, but yeah, that was good. Again, Shrew just dead too long or too much. I thought this was also a really good job kiting all of that. This is a nice position to play, honestly. I like that. I like that you did that. This was a little scary. Okay though, worked out. I wrote in my notes that you had a really good Valk here. I don't remember what it is, but it's really good, whatever it is. This is it. This Valk's phenomenal. Yeah. Okay, so they use multiple alts, and one of them isn't Visor, which is great for you. But yes, this alt phenomenal. So like you kited the bomb, waited for bomb to end. As soon as bomb ended, you popped the ult. So like if the Illari ends up getting some damage off, like you're going to be able to heal through a lot of it with the ult. You know, you can be really defensive with this, and if your team is able to sustain long enough, you also can go super aggressive with this. This was phenomenal ult. I don't know what the other team did. They just kind of like stopped doing shit, but like they should have pushed on that, and then your ult would have gotten even more value. Great job kiting that as well. That was awesome. I thought you played it around this room really well. That was all really, really nice. Love to see that. You weren't in EMP range there, but you got EMP'd. So that was something. I noticed that when I was watching it back. That was crazy. Dangerous res. This is dangerous, but it worked out, so it's okay. But they definitely should have killed you here. I like that movement. That was nice. Get away from that diva. And I'm glad you left them to die.
Sometimes you scare me. Need some assistance?
It's all good. Again, I think when you're playing around like this cover, like this is all really good. And like this kind of works with like the other supports in the Kana and stuff. Like you can do this on Ana, you can do this on Kiriko too. Like you don't have to be high ground. Like ideally, like if there's a good high ground for an Ana to be, you want to be there. But like you can play like this and make it work. More so on Kiriko, more so on like, you know, BAP or Moira. But like it can work on Ana too. But you do a really good job of it on Mercy, kiting like damage really well around these walls and stuff. Thought this Valk was pretty good too. I don't know necessarily that it was needed, but like you made sure that the fight was won with it, so I like that. Thought the first one was a little bit better, but like it was still good. That was a little bit dangerous to walk out in the open like that, but it is what it is. There's a stall at that point, so it's fine. Good res. I would have flown in so dangerously, but I get why you went to sure to, you know, damage boost him. That was nice. And yeah, that was all. Solid stuff. I'll go ahead and end the stream real quick.